time ago.
Right, okay. You're all very welcome. This is a big day for Wexford FC. We were over recently meeting the guys, and fabulous club, fabulous facilities, and we're very, very excited to partner with Reading FC. I think just before we kind of get into it, obviously the press release on this is not going out till Monday, so we'd appreciate if everything just keep it between ourselves for the moment, please, if you can. So look, I'd like to welcome Michael, Jamie and Noel. They're the future trouble risers. But no, look, it's fantastic, and you know, there's been great links with Reading, and you know, we've had one or two reasonably good Irish internationals would have played for them as well, Wexford men. So it's great, and we're very proud of that. So look, without further ado, I'll hand you over to who? Okay. Michael, is it?
Yes,
okay.
Okay.
No,
don't need it, do I? I'm fine. Now, good afternoon. Welcome everybody, and thanks for having us. It's been a kind of, I'll just give you a quick journey on how it's been. We've had very strong links, Reading Football Club, with the South of Ireland for many years, and we seem to have lost that as we got into COVID, and furlough, and a lot of links were broken really. And my task has been taken over as the academy manager at that time, was only from the last 18 months, is to try and rekindle those things. So getting the right people in the right jobs has been a major thing for me, and having Noel come back to lead our under-21s and getting Jamie on board as our head of coaching has been a major plus for me, coming away from, you know, coaching as such. So obviously Noel's link with Gary has been a major thing in getting this off the ground. So absolutely over the moon to be here, and look forward to the relationship that we're going to have going forward, really.
Yeah. Super. Yeah, thanks, Michael. Yeah.
Thanks, Michael.
So, John.
Yeah, I suppose on behalf of Wexford FC, I've probably a few memories here to bring up today. I'll be quick and I'll be short because I know we've sort of a full agenda. The formal link will go out on Monday between Reading and Wexford, but for me, for the last number of months, I've been thinking about the actual potential of the link and the relationship, and I think there's an awful lot more than we even realise in the room here. The connections that we have, and I'll bring back a few little memories, but for me, when we went to Reading only recently, and just people putting themselves out and going into the training ground and meeting the groundsman, meeting the security, meeting the canteen staff, there's a really good feel about the place. For me, that's the most important thing as we go forward, and it's very, very intrinsic to Wexford as well, because when I look back at the links here, even in the room, like, we have a formal relationship now going forward, but the spirit of that relationship, I think, will be very successful. A lot of clubs in Ireland have had links over the years in name, but not really in spirit, and they've never, you know, they haven't worked or they haven't been successful. I actually am very, very confident that this one will be successful because you have really good people, and I think that's critical for me. I'd like to thank Wexford and the Wexford board on ratifying this link and giving us the green light to go ahead and pursue it. It's a new board and there's a lot of new people there, and I'm hoping it's exciting times on top of the exciting times we've had before. All it is the next pathway. And when I look at it, like Kevin, like, is a Wexford player who we all look up to, Irish international. He's probably doesn't even realise, because he's a quite unassuming guy. When you meet him in the street, he's the same as he was when he was maybe a young kid playing in Wexford. He's never changed. Every time he talks about Reading, he talks about Michael, he talks about the club. Really, like, that it made him feel like a family member, and it was comfortable for him to follow his career path over there. So the link with Kevin being the first Wexford Reading international, I'm convinced in the next few years there'll be a second one and a third one, and Kevin will be there to greet them onto Reading's ground, and we'll see another Kevin Doyle up on the stadium over there. So I'm convinced that will happen, because there's a great pool of talent in Wexford. Noel is intrinsically involved now in Gary, and so I know the two guys for years through Gary, who's, you know, I know him since he's 4 years of age when he was drinking vodka in the local pub. He doesn't even take a drink now, but he was reared on vodka, so that's why he's fairly quiet. Himself and Noel, he brought Noel to Wexford. Noel would have been great for our club. He used to come and, you know, work with our kids, and the influence that they have on our kids in our club years ago was absolutely exceptional, second to none. They'll have that now in Wexford FC's kids, because, you know, I think that's badly needed. We're a little bit of an untapped talent here in Wexford County. I remember Kevin before he even went to Reading. He probably won't remember this, but came up to the pitch one day and I had a crowd of 14-year-olds and himself and Liam Carney, I think we were good mates still. Two guys come up and done a session first. What that session done and what that meant to those kids is invaluable. And some of those kids go on to play at a higher level. I guarantee if you ask them, they'll remember that. The guys probably don't, but because it was just routine for them, just genuine nice guys. So there's other links, like look at Boogie. In fairness, like when you go to Reading, everybody still talks about him. Like your loss was probably our gain due to family circumstances, but like he's Wexford FC kit man now, and to be honest, as he said on the bus last night, I'm the #1 kit man in Ireland. Never mind England, he said. He told us all last night on the bus, I'm the #1 kit man. But look, the links, like he was coming back and talking to us over the years about how comfortable and how at home he felt at Reading and as a club. We've that link, and then we hopefully have, I think in November our 17s are going to travel over. First part of the link, besides all the details that are in it and the contract, we'll get through them because you've lots of professional people who'll deal with it. But with the 17s going over now in November, and then hopefully we'll have Caelan, who's here today. He's probably going to spend a bit of time over there then as an individual player after that, and he'll be the first Wexford FC player to officially go across, I think. And that's the start of what I would say an absolutely brilliant relationship. But for me, what will make this successful is it's the Wexford people that we have here. Our coaches are there. They're actually delighted today that we can get linked to Reading. That's going to help them attract more kids. Don't underestimate how much that'll help us attract us. Kevin's link there, Gary and Noel's link, all the people that have been intrinsically linked with the club in Reading. It's surprisingly, I think it could be a home from home and we don't even realise it yet. But the culture, the people I met over there, the club, the town, to me, that's why it's going to be successful. And you have very similar people here in Ireland. And the people I work with at our club are very similar, and I think we'll have a great relationship, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah. Before, I suppose, look, you remiss me not to just mention, Wexford FC is built on volunteers. Eileen, John, myself, Ray, there's so many, Tom Dunn, there's so many, and they all know who they are, and I think, coaches have been absolutely fantastic. So just a big thank you to all of them, because we wouldn't be where we are today only for their hard work. So thanks to everyone.
I know some people are probably wanting to do some interviews and have a chat with people, and it's fine, but we would like to get to the CBS, maybe about 20 to 3 if possible, because we have 2 academy teams up there training. I think it'd be great if some of the lads could come up along and get some photos with the kids. And I know they'll be excited, and then I think the plan is to go to Ferrycarrig to some of the women's games as well. And I know you're on a tight schedule, but let's have a few minutes here as well to just make sure we get ready. Anything else, Noel or Jamie?
I think it was all said, to be fair. I mean, for me, the South East is home to me. But I think when I was so lucky when I signed for Reading that I didn't just have my brother there. I had Kevin and Shane that were there, and it made it feel so homely and so welcoming and so warm that I always felt like home since then. And a massive part of that, even he doesn't need to pop in today, Kev, but he's come down, and I think that's what people do for each other in terms of a family. We're trying to build, and we've been building a culture back at Reading. Michael started when he jumped in as head of the academy, and then we've just tried to come in and jump on that idea and make it as homely and as secure, as safe a place like it was when I came first. I mean, the academy is so renowned and pristine, and it is now still, but it's just getting better and better, thankfully. And to have them people, have them characters in your building is so important for me. To have that work ethic, that desire, that smile on your face coming to work, it's so important. And I think people that have come through the club at Reading and been successful had that, and that's what we're looking for again. I think the tie here, not just because obviously Kevin, this is a massive pull. Kevin's from the area, how much of an unbelievable career he had, in terms of goals scored, things won, playing for his country, goals scored, competing at the highest level. But just strip all that away, forget about all that. He's just one of the best guys I've ever met in my life in terms of a person. and that's I think that's what they bring. Yeah.
Kevin told me to give you
that. I was waiting for
read the ticket as well.
I thought it was coming under the table. But I think that's so important for draws to clubs and for draws to players. You know, and what I'm getting at is that if we can have that familiarity around both clubs going both ways, not just players, but with coaches and staff, I think it's so important to a good partnership. So for me, like coming back to the southeast, you know, I'll always call it home. I know I'm from Waterford, but I think from the age of 19, when I met Gary first, I think I spent more time in Wexford than in Waterford, and I've always seen it that way. So it's a massive day for me as a southeast lad and a Reading employee. A very proud day.
Great. Sorry, it was remiss of me. I thank Eileen and all the guys here, but obviously there are other people. We've got two new board members. Will McCreevy has joined the board, who's going to be a fantastic asset to the club. Peter Doyle has done massive work in the background. One of those jobs, I suppose, that people don't see around the infrastructure and grants and funding and pieces. So, big thanks to those as well. So I think that's really all I have to say.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I mean, I really liked what you said about the home from home. I think if you look back at some of the successful times in Reading's recent history, especially, there's always been, you know, an Irish connection, whether that's players or staff, and we've had a number of staff, not just in first team positions, for example, like Dave, you know, worked in the academy, you know, Noel across both, but lots of support staff as well in the academy coming over from Ireland. And we've mentioned culture a few times, and a big thing we've done in the last 18 months is really drive our culture, increase our standards, and reconnect back to our DNA more so than ever. And you know, I'm really glad that this partnership will play a part in that. In, you know, yes, providing opportunities for players to come here, players from here to come to us, but you know, to share best practice, work with your coaches, because you have, you know, a community-based program and an academy program. So there's so many things that hopefully over time that we will be able to explore together.
And I just forgot to mention one thing which is critical. A big part of our go-forward plan is the FRS system, the community development. And only when I realised when we went to Reading, like I met Dave Evans, and he was just, his energy and enthusiasm was crazy. Like he kept us alive when we were up at 2:30 that morning, and he brought us around, and he just showed us how passionate he is about his work. I'd say he'd do it for nothing. You know what I mean? He's that type of guy. Himself and Mark, who's our new community development, Mark Ross, actually grew up together and are best friends. And there's another link that we wouldn't have even thought about. So there's things there in the background that sometimes bring clubs and people together that you never realise. And I think for us, if we don't make a success of this, it'll be because of us. And that's why I'm super confident we will do it.
For sure.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, guys.
Sorry.
You got a photograph, you guys?
Yeah.
Can we get Kevin? Kevin in?
Yeah, we can get one.
Do you use that first and then we'll jump in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You sitting down or standing?
You okay?
Sit down, standing, Jamie.
Standing down.
Yeah.
So we'll get everybody in this as well.
How are you?
Yeah, we'll get that. So we'll do this one. We'll do a couple one, yeah. We'll do this one first and then.
There we go.
Something I'll have had.
You just put your teeth back.
They're me on.
Can we give the staff members one? Kevin?
Jump in here in the middle. You will.
Excellent. Right, guys. There we go.
You don't get the...
No.
Can we have the staff members maybe with the lads from Reading?
No,
Will?
Well.
She tried that before, it didn't work out.
Yeah, she's still there, but yeah.
Sue was gone.
No,
No, Sandy's gone. Sandra's
Sue's still secretary.
Jane is still there.
Yeah.
Come on.
Have you seen the old photos, James?
Oh, you're right.
Oh, good, yeah. Sky Sports.
What?
Sky Sports.
Yours is still got bear with that.
Bring the chairs forward. Relevant people sit on it, and then you just send it. We won't get everybody in.